Welcome back. Welcome back to the Backyard Bougie podcast. This is kind of a bonus episode. Bonus, yeah. But we are coming to you from somewhere in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea out here on our 15-day European cruise. And we just thought that we'd do a quick little update for all of our listeners and viewers out there, kind of sharing just some of our experiences so far. Talking a little bit about some of the amazing wine country and the culture and the experiences that we've had up until this point. We've only got about 6 or 7 days left on this particular itinerary, and then we'll wrap up with a couple days in Rome. But kind of with our goal of continuing to share just some good food and some good wine with all of our listeners and viewers online, we thought we'd give you a little bit of taste of what we've been experiencing so far. And so we thought that we'd kind of start from the top with where we started out in London, and then taking a day trip over to Paris, and then kind of making our way throughout most of Western Europe, and then crossing the Strait of Gibraltar into Southern Europe and some of the westernmost points of Spain and Portugal. And then now heading over to southern France, where hopefully we get a chance to taste some really good southern France white wines, which that region's pretty well known for. But with that said, as you guys know here at the Backyard Bougie, we like to kind of start each podcast with a beverage of choice. And one of the really cool and unique things with this cruise itinerary is, particularly for the cruise ship and the cruise line that we're on, you are allowed to bring back any wine, as long as it's not fortified, meaning it's got to be like under 15%. As long as it's not a fortified wine, you're allowed to bring it back on board with you at each port. And so as part of that kind of benefit, or I guess value of this itinerary, we've been doing that in every port that we've stopped at. And today we wanted to share with you guys a pretty cool Spanish CAVA, which for those of you out there who are astute in your wine knowledge would know that that's essentially just a sparkling wine. Some may call it a champagne, but in order for it to truly be called a champagne, it has to originate from the Champagne region of France. And so essentially, with this being a cava, it means that it's made in the traditional method of Champagne, but comes from a region outside of Champagne, France. And this particular one that we're going to share with you guys today actually comes from just outside of the region of Bilbao, Spain. And we picked this up at one of the wineries we were at in Spain. Had a beautiful opportunity to learn about some of the history and culture there. And man, babe, isn't it amazing to see the centuries-old legacy of many of these wineries?
It is, and it's so fascinating to see that how the way wine is processed where we are currently in the El Dorado County versus where we are visiting here in Europe, that, you know, they do have clay soils, they have sand soils, they have everything that we've ever experienced. But the unique experience was the green wine that we tasted, and they process these grapes that are green. And it is amazing.
Yes.
It tastes so good.
So good.
But this particular one from Bilbao was a very beautiful, very picturesque port.
Yep.
Very beautiful to the eye. I would have to say people weren't so welcoming.
Not super friendly.
At this port.
Not to Americans.
And we're not the only ones that experienced that. Talking to other patrons on the cruise line, they experienced the same thing. But the bakery was a pleasant experience that we had there too. So not everybody's shut down. But just a very beautiful way, and to understand that there is some similarities, but the grapes are so old because of the vines being so old, that it's the unique taste and the enrichment that the soils bring over the decades, centuries, that these grapes have produced such amazing varietals. And it's just been a really pleasant experience to taste all the champagne to the blushes to the reds. And we have not been disappointed in anything that we've ever tried in any varietal. The Tuscanello, the 100% was
Yep.
a beautiful tasting too at another vineyard. But this particular one that we're going to share with you today from Bilbao, it was very beautiful. I mean, mansions, like
Yes,
castles,
beautiful,
people.
beautiful
Where we're from, it
chateaus.
would be like mansions, but here they call them castles, and they literally, truly are, and people still reside in them today, and they go for about $32 million.
Yeah, so we heard. Yeah,
So we heard.
We decided not to put an offer in on one this time around, but
No.
maybe on our next trip to Europe, we can think about one of those. But with that said, let's share with you guys just a little bit of the champagne that we're going to open up today. Again, this is a bottle made in the traditional champagne method, and this is what they would call a cava or cava because it is a true bubbly, a true brut, meaning that it's got some dryness to it, very little residual sugar. And as such, it does not come from the region of Champagne, France. So it has to officially be called a cava or a sparkling wine. And so that's what we're opening today. But while I'm opening this bottle, one of the things that we thought that we'd love to share with you guys is we're going to do another episode while we're out here in the Mediterranean. We've got another sea day coming up in a couple of days where we'll be kind of repositioning between France and Italy. And as part of that, we actually had a chance to visit a beautiful, beautiful winery on one of our last stops. And they just have an unbelievable story about how they design their wine labels. And we wanted to share that with you guys because we just thought it was so touching and so heartwarming in how they really get to a point where they design their wine labels. And that came out of southern Portugal.
Yes, and they give back to their community. And so we don't want to ruin, nor do we want to, give you all the details. But please listen in to this next winery that we're going to feature in our next little short tidbit of a episode for you is on a touch base. But very beautiful. They give back. Their vineyard goes all the way down to the beaches, so they get the sea salt from the ocean and the breeze, which kind of changes the taste because the skins of their grapes capture the salts and the sea mist from the ocean, because literally their vineyard ends at this rock that this cliff that is just such a beautiful, picturesque place that we actually took a picture of, love.
Yes.
But their story on how they wanted to present this varietal to their community and to others that visit their area is just a beautiful story. So make sure you stay tuned and listen in on that one, because that's going to be it just touched our hearts.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful way that they go about designing and getting artistic involvement in their label making. But beautiful portion of Portugal there. Loved it. Loved the area, loved the wines, and just really loved the story behind some of the artistic creation in their wine labels. But with that said, as we partake in some of this beautiful Brut Cava out of Bilbao, Spain, we thought we'd also just give you guys a bit of an update as to what we've been doing and kind of what's been going on in our journey. We've had a couple of big celebrations while we've been gone.
It was the birthday boy's birthday. He turned 45.
Birthday boy.
We also celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. Yes. Wow, baby.
Salute.
25 years.
25 years to the same wife.
Better be.
Better be.
Well, different person.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be the same person, as we had discussed in previous podcasts. That I don't want to be the same person he said I do to 25 years ago.
Growing and learning and...
Correct.
Yes. Growing in our love and mature.
Like fine wine?
Yeah, we mature like fine wine. That's right. Hopefully like fine wine. Yeah. And not a corked bottle.
No.
We don't want to turn into vinegar. No. But with that, we had a couple of big celebrations. We've also had just a chance to experience some really cool culture.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things for me that really stood out when you get into Europe, particularly Spain and Portugal and even some parts of Western France. We haven't been to southern France yet. We're heading there today. But in those parts of Europe, it's very interesting when you look around and you see just the busyness that we as Americans tend to have. Where, and again, it's probably an anecdotal observation, but in Europe, there's just a cultural acceptance for just slowing down, sitting at a cafe, enjoying a glass of vino, a pastry, whatever it is, every day getting up and going down to they call them the wet markets and the dry markets, where you buy, your groceries and your food, fresh every single day.
Every day. And things don't open, storefronts and stuff don't open, other than bakeries and cafes. Do they open until after 10, 11 o'clock? So sometimes we'll arrive at different ports and we'll arrive at 7:15, but the storefronts, for those that are just exploring the area and the port of its own, on their own, don't really get to see much until about 11 o'clock to experience foods of the local area, unless you want a bakery or a cappuccino and coffee. But very beautiful. And La Corona was one of our beautiful stops that we really, really enjoyed and embraced. Beautiful culture, beautiful community, just a very beautiful, embracing culture. Everybody friendly, wanting you to get involved in their music and not pressuring you on purchasing any of their things. But that's where we tried the octopus.
Yes, we had a fantastic meal.
Yes, tell him more about that octopus, honey.
Oh, yeah.
He was hesitant, and I was like, if you're going to do this anywhere else, love, this is where you're going to want to do it. And thank God that you jumped on the boat and
gave it a try.
Gave your taste buds a journey.
Yes. So we were in a beautiful little. It's actually like a barbecue restaurant in the center of A Coruña, Spain, and beautiful octopus. The town is kind of known for their octopus. It's a port town, so they've got a marina and a harbor there, and they go out and catch fresh seafood every day, and the seafood in this town was just spectacular. But everybody said you had to try the octopus and the verde vino, which is the green wine. And so we get into town, and we're walking through the marketplace, is what they call it, the little city center, and just kind of looking around at all the cafes and all the different restaurants. And we happened upon this one restaurant, and the owner, Alejandro, was out front. And they had this beautiful display case where they dry age their own beef, but they also smoke their own octopus. And he got to explaining to us about all the different seafood selections and the octopus. And one of the things he shared with us is they smoke this octopus for 2 days. And then after the end of 2 days, they cut open the octopus and then they actually grill it on the inside to give it just a little bit more heat and a little bit more flavor.
Over charcoal.
Over a live mesquite charcoal grill.
Smells so good, guys.
It's so good.
It's not your typical seafood smell.
It's amazing.
Just beautiful. And it's tender. And it actually tasted like barbecue.
It did. It had a very woodsy taste to it. You could actually taste the smoke flavor from the 2 days of being smoked. But very tender, very flavorful. So we had the octopus. We also had, at Alejandro's recommendation, we also tried the mussels and the clams, and they had these salt clams as well.
Yes.
And barnacles, just unbelievable seafood experience. And of course, the verde vino, which is the green wine. And it was just paired magnificently together.
And seared peppers. I'm telling you, Alejandro went totally out of his way to make sure we got the most embraced cultural experience, food and palate-wise. When he brought out the, I don't say it as beautiful as you, but the green
the verde
wine.
vino.
Yeah, that. So good. with the octopus and
Yes.
all the clams. And I was so proud of him because he's not a seafood
I don't
person
like seafood.
typically. And for him to be able to just open his mindset to this experience and allow Alejandro to just say, no, trust me, you're going to love this. And if you don't, that's okay. But I want you to taste this while you're here. And that was a very, very beautiful experience for both.
Yes.
Both of us on that day.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And funny story, for those of you who know us, you know that we kind of like to mingle and meet different folks. And we're kind of the chatty type when it comes to those types of environments. And by the time that our meal was over, we had sat 16 different people
Yeah,
as we were sitting on the patio of his cafe, of his restaurant there, right in the city center. And people were passing by, and they recognized us from the cruise, and we got to talking to them and telling them about the food, telling them about the experience. And by the time we were done, we had welcomed in 16 different people into his restaurant. And it's a small restaurant, folks. Like, I'm not talking like a big, diner type place. This is like, he probably has 15, 20 tables total in the whole restaurant. And he was so appreciative and so thankful. He gave us a warm family welcome, a warm family, aperitif after and before our meal, and was just very appreciative of, us kind of recruiting the fellow cruisers to his restaurant.
And to follow that beautiful experience, we ran into those individuals many a time after that experience at that port, and they have thanked us tremendously,
yes, over and over
for
again,
recommending them to try the certain things and to just give it a whirl of a wind of a try. And they are saying, they constantly, every time we see them, even now, and fast forward 5 days after this experience, they're still saying, thank you so much. I cannot get that octopus and that wine off of my palate. Like, that was such a great experience. So glad you recommended it. And so for that, we're making friends too, but also enjoying seeing others take that, step out of, their comfort zone and their palate varietal, that they're going to give it a go. I mean, you might as well. I mean, and it was just a beautiful experience. And to hear that Alejandro had treated them the same as us, like
right.
Familia. I mean, it was just really nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But another experience that we wanted to just share with you guys was a recent experience that we actually just had 2 nights ago. And that was the amazing, they here on the cruise ship, they've got like specialty dining options. And one of the ones that we did here was the chef's table. And it's a private dining experience for 12 folks. And we had actually done this experience back right after COVID. We had done this with a couple of friends that we had cruised with back then. But there were still just so many limitations and so many restrictions because it was right after the pandemic, and you didn't get a chance to really experience the whole, kind of benefit of that chef's table. So we decided to do it again. And as part of this benefit and this experience, it was absolutely fantastic. And it's probably about a 16-course dinner. It's fairly paced out, but I'll tell you, by about course 12, you are definitely reaching max capacity.
And you got to think smaller size, exquisite restaurant, fine dining, where the portions are smaller because they're enriched in flavor, and they're pairing it with the wine of which they place. And it's your choice. So if you don't like white at all, that's fine. You don't have to have the white. If you prefer red, you can have red the whole time. If you like both, they'll pair the white with the fish, and they're very accommodating to any allergy restrictions whatsoever. So there was a lady, only one of us out of the 12 of us that was experiencing this private dining had allergy restrictions, and they made the experience just as beautiful.
Just as amazing.
I mean, we watched, because I was just like, we know a lot of people that have some allergy restrictions, and we're like, if we ever traveled with them, what would this look like for them? And she did not feel like she was neglected at all. But it was just very beautiful, but it's very rich. So it's coming out in small, not your normal entree that we get in America that's like huge and it's platefuls by platefuls. It is smaller, but very palatable.
Yeah.
Experience. And
Maybe,
the
maybe
chef,
a bite or two in each course. If it's
Yes.
3 bites, it's a big course.
and the presentation, people, is beautiful,
Yes.
either on a plate or in these acrylic boxes on napkins with flowers, smoke. It's all enhanced, visual, smelling, tasting. It's a very
It's a very balanced experience.
yeah. So nice. You have to do it. We would recommend anybody. Actually, on our last cruise, we actually recommended our lovely friends.
Yes.
And they enjoyed
They
it too.
enjoyed it. That's right. Yeah. But it's a really cool experience. Got a chance to celebrate our anniversary a day early, and jumped into that pretty cool experience. But one of the things that I thought was the coolest part about it was the actual executive chef of the entire cruise ship. He's actually the one who presents the entire dinner to you, and shares with you each of the courses. Talks about all of the ingredients and how it's made. And for that particular experience, the 12 people in that dining room are the only folks eating those meals that day. And the fact that you've got the executive chef of a cruise ship that's got close to 2,000 guests and another almost 1,000 crew members on it, and you've got the executive chef there, taking care of you and really providing a world-class experience is pretty cool. So definitely recommend, if you get a chance, jump in and try that chef's table. But the last thing we just wanted to share was just, kind of some of our, just personal experiences that, we thought, building off of our last couple of episodes as we've been talking about love, and we've been talking about, obviously the last episode we had was a little bit on the spicy side. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that one, we definitely encourage you to. But we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about like loving others. And, look, when you kind of get exposed and immersed into a large group of people, right? You're going to have people from all different walks of life, all different, economic, socioeconomic, different cultural backgrounds. But it's just really been, quite the social study for us in just observing and watching people. And, we had a couple of ladies who I'm certain will never, ever see this podcast, but we had a couple of ladies that were dining with us one of the first nights in the main dining room. And they were, let's just say, not the most pleased with their experience so far.
But they were noticing that we were enjoying our experience and what we were celebrating. We did something fun, which captured a lot of people's attention around us, where when you go to these dinners, you choose your meal. You have an entree, and you have an appetizer, you have a dessert. And you can order a couple of the appetizers, then an entree and a dessert. And so for fun, we were just trying to mix it up to see if he could get my order right the first couple days. And then he tested me on his birthday and I had to order his meal. Well, they were both noticing how much fun we were having during our experience. And it was something that we were creating because we could have either had started this off on a rocky experience with so many people being Debbie Downers and Karens,
Just so negative.
Just very negative, not embracing the 15 days that we're about to embark on this cruise with each other, that we didn't want to, just invite the negative energy to us. So we're like, we're going to change this up and have fun. And it actually enhanced our wait staff.
Yes.
We connected very well with them because we decided to do this little game, if you will. And so these ladies had noticed us, and then carry on, love.
And it was really, we thought something that demonstrates what happens when we choose to love other people as opposed to be critical and, potentially judgmental. Not saying that, others are judgmental, but when we choose to love people, when we choose to embrace people and take an opportunity to help them see kind of the brighter side or the happier side of things, how much it can change. And so we just thought it was a really cool, like in the moment, real life experience where, for these ladies, they started engaging with us. Our tables are just a stone's throw away from each other. They were initially talking about how disappointed they've been so far, how frustrated they've been with the service and the food and the selections. And we just started encouraging them and just, sharing with them what we were doing and how we were doing it. We talked about the ways in which you can go about appreciating the staff, showing them, just your love for them and how much that goes, towards their just personal demeanor and their arching happiness and feeling of appreciation. And sure enough, a couple days goes by, and these ladies, not only have they been at every single dinner since, they're cracking up, they're having a great time, they're loving their experiences, they're loving the wait staff, they're engaging with the wait staff, they're cracking jokes with us. We ran into them in the comedy club. They're going out of their way to say hi and appreciate just the connection. And here we are a couple nights ago, and the ladies just, really appreciated how much us challenging them to change their perspective about their experience really led them to
a happier cruise.
And this was so early on.
Vacation. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, I mean, the people here are friendly, but, they're away from their families a whole lot longer than we are and from our, comfortable environments. And here they're accepting new people on like a revolving door, if you will. And so they're missing their family, their home, their culture just as much as we are for a very, short period of time where they're doing it at a greater length.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months in most cases.
And some of these are actually anxious because this is their last and they're anxious to go home. And so for them to understand the perspectives of the people that are providing the opportunity for us to have a holiday and a vacation away from our families and our natural environments, they're doing this even though it's their job, but they're anticipating their arrival at home too.
That's right.
A lot of them get really homesick, people, and you just got to love them through it and connect with them and just treat them like their family so they don't feel so alone.
Let them have a sense of family while their family's not there.
Yes.
And, one of the things that I think really resonated, for these ladies, they happened to be there the night of, my birthday dinner. And, for us, we also recognized and identified that our head waiter had the same birthday as I did. Not just like the same month and date, but like the same month, date, year.
And name, people.
And the same name. We did learn that there's no way we're twins because he's Filipino. And unless I hide my Filipino really well, I'm probably not Filipino. But we actually brought him a gift and made him, we arranged with the maitre d' and all of the wait staff ahead of time. We told them that we were going to make our waiter sit with us at our table, and we were going to sing happy birthday to both Michaels and celebrate our birthdays together. And we brought him a gift. We made him sit down and enjoy the birthday experience with me. And these ladies were just awestruck by, you saw our waiter just light up. He's got 3 kids at home and his wife. And, in the Philippines, where he comes from, just about an hour outside of Manila, the times when we are in Europe, they don't coincide to where he can call and talk to his family as frequently as he can as, when they're sailing out of the U.S., whether that be, the Eastern Caribbean or Western Caribbean or maybe even Mexico. And so he's really experiencing some homesickness, and knowing that it was his birthday and his family was away, we had a chance to really, take 5 minutes and celebrate him a little bit, and got the whole staff involved, got the maitre d', the restaurant manager, got everybody involved, and really loved on him and let him feel, 5 minutes of love and appreciation. And it was amazing watching these ladies. They're all standing up and dancing and singing happy birthday, and they just came to life after. And look, I'm not saying that, we single-handedly, changed their mindset or their thought process. But sometimes when we just agree to love others, it would have been really easy to be critical of those ladies and just shrug them off and, come back to the room and talk about them, just be like, man, people are so negative, and, you got a bunch of Karens out there in the world, right? And the reality is that we chose to just encourage them and share with them some of our experience. And the one thing people can never argue with you about is your experience. Mm-hmm. They can't ever say it's not true because it's my experience. And that's the one thing we used as a way to just share, hey, when you do this, here's the good things that can happen.
Yeah, and it was reciprocated at our anniversary 2 days later. They created a very beautiful experience. We had already ordered dessert, and of course they're coming out with our anniversary, and then everybody, he got the whole section to sing happy anniversary to us like it was our birthday but our anniversary, and candles to blow out and everything too, and had you sit next to me because usually on the two-seaters you're across from each other, but it was just very beautiful. And then for Michael to share his heart, our waiter, just saying, man, I have 18 years with my wife. I'm really hoping to make it 7 more just like you guys. And we're like, you will. You got a more life to live. And just him embracing that transparency through somebody else's, anniversary celebration, that I think it took him back to his last celebration with his wife and how he anticipates to celebrate his anniversary. Just very beautiful. Just the transparency that we have built with our wait staff has been a beautiful experience, that if you allow it to happen, starting with yourselves, so then that way other people are like, wow, how are they enjoying themselves, and how are they just connecting and getting this experience that we may not, and being able to share that and let them take it. I mean, we weren't, trying to convince or persuade these women one way or another. We just gave them
something else to think about.
A different perspective, and let them do what they were going to do because we were going to do what we were going to do.
That's right.
And the journey has been beautiful. The experiences, the wait staff, even the head maitre d's, everybody has just been like our family on this cruise ship, and just very, very beautiful. If you allow it, love, and then the love will pour out to others, has just been very rewarding.
Yeah. And, we, again, just building off of that whole theme of love, we just, again, had this very, kind of surreal experience here on this trip where, we naturally have learned over the years, I think the old saying is you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. And we've just learned that when you show love to others, right, and you show appreciation and gratitude and gratefulness, that more times than not, that is reciprocated back to you. And you truly, truly, truly get more honey than you do with vinegar. And we have had amazing experiences. We've gotten to, do things that, we wouldn't otherwise get to do. Been very grateful and appreciative. And we believe a lot of it is because we try to live with what we call a love forward mindset. And if we love forward, if we love before anything else, everything else kind of just falls into place. And we just wanted to share that, kind of real experience with you guys.
Mush.
And get it out there. But, really... we'll plan to make another episode for you guys here. We keep looking out over here because all we see is the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. Just beautiful, beautiful, pristine, clear blue waters. We're probably about 100 nautical miles away from Toulon, France, in the southern portion of France, where hopefully we'll get a chance to do some wine tasting and some wine experiences here tomorrow. But we really, truly appreciate you guys. Just want to do a little bit of a smaller, shorter episode, kind of a little short update on where we're at. And then also just share, kind of building off of this theme of love about how we feel and how we view what happens when you can love others. And so we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Continue to like and subscribe. We'll continue to, throw out some episode updates here. We'll probably do one more bonus episode before we get back into our home studio upon our return.
Yes, we really want to share that beautiful label. Please, please stay tuned for that. It's just a very beautiful, community-oriented, kind of like our community at home. Just everybody just wanting to help other people in different ways. And so this is a very beautiful wine presentation and, honoring their label for you guys. So please stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, with that said, folks, as we like to say around here at the Backyard Bougie, stay bougie and stay real. Salute.
Salute.